Hello, welcome to the Recommended Podcast. My name is Ryker, and this is my co-host, Brenden.
I listened to the last couple episodes I was not on, and I just want to say, joke's on you, Ryker. I also hate kids and love violence.
Okay. Yes.
Hell yes.
And this is my co-host, Chandler.
What up?
And this is a podcast where we talk about movies, TV, and entertainment media. And this week we are talking about a movie that begs to ask the question, how do I live without you?
Trisha Yearwood.
They do it multiple times, and I'm talking about Con Air.
Such a good song.
I was also requested to wear a white tank top and have my hair down for this episode. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, I picked the movie. I said that we should watch it because I know Brenden wanted to watch Face Off, so I just keep doing everything in my power to not watch Face Off with him. Not saying I don't like Face Off. I just felt like this was a good movie to bring you back in and to get us all together because we haven't had an episode, all three of us, in a while. So I'm a big recommend. I liked it still. And it is the most, like, it's so ridiculous. I love it because of how ridiculous it is. So that's my thought. Brenden, what'd you think?
This is episode 49, right? I believe so.
Yes, maybe.
This is my number one movie of 49 we've done so far.
Damn.
I adore this.
I can't believe that.
Adore.
Hey, what'd you think about Alien and Aliens?
Yeah, all right.
I kept recommending that you would recommend it because you could appreciate
I probably would.
them.
Yeah.
But you did not watch them.
No, I didn't.
Chandler, what'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. Top 3 Nicolas Cage movies.
Oh, what's your other couple? You got them? I'm gonna put you on the
Yeah.
spot.
Face Off number 1.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry. And Gone 60 Seconds.
Oh,
Are
you
mine.
are a big like car guy, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
A little biased.
Yeah. So, yeah, with all of that being said, let's get, into the meat and potatoes. Brenden, we haven't talked to you in about 2 weeks, podcast time. I've talked to you since then, but we haven't really talked because we try to keep everything. We only talk on the podcast now, so which is sad for us with our lives. We have discussions about work, and that's it. And then all of the fun stuff we get to talk about here. So what did you watch while you were out and about on your trip for vacation and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, so, okay. I'm going to go with the fact that we took our kids to see the new Lilo and Stitch movie
Okay.
right after it came out. And I think Disney is definitely just trying to suckle off some money of the public
Since
by
when?
remaking these movies.
Since
right?
when?
Like the live action stuff. But I got to say, I haven't watched all of those live action ones, but, some of them. This was the best one. Like, this was pretty good. I really liked it. I liked the two guys that play the aliens that are hunting Stitch when they're on Earth. I think one of them's Galifianakis. I forget the other guy's name. They're great.
I think
Hilarious.
the other guy plays like a dummy in a lot of movies. I think he was in The Big Short. I think he played like one of the realtor bros that was in The Big Short.
Yeah, I could see that. Yes. It was really, really good. They've set it up very nicely to continue doing like more Stitch movies in the future. I didn't realize, like, as a result of watching this movie, my kids got into like Lilo and Stitch, and we're on Disney Plus watching it. There's like 5 movies and like a whole TV show that's got like a bunch of seasons, all animated, that they could go off of. So like, yeah, they might have found a nice little trove there. But yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
That's cool. I mean, it did what it was probably set out to do, which is get kids that hadn't watched any Lilo and Stitch stuff to go watch it. So that's cool. I know this isn't Disney, but like, did your kids ever watch How to Train Your Dragon?
Actually, no.
Okay, I was curious because they just put out that How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Yeah,
and I was interested to see if you guys went down that road yet or not. So, well, for the future. Ooh, quick question, quick update, check in. Star Wars. Have you watched any more Star Wars?
I haven't.
Okay, just wanted to keep that up there. All right, I want to keep asking because you've made some comments about some things in the movie that I'm like, I don't know if he knows about Star Wars and I feel like he's in for a shock whenever he watches more. And I really want to, like, I want you to, like, I'm sure I'll get a text message from you, and I'll be like, "You watched it."
I'm gonna report. Okay, by the time we record again, I will watch episode 5. I'm traveling a lot for work the next like week or two.
Okay.
I'll be around to record, of course, but I'm saying like I'll have some time to myself.
Yeah, we'll have
where I can watch.
We'll have
Yeah.
a couple. We're gonna behind the scenes here. We're gonna do 2 recordings in a row. Just well, Brenden and I are gonna do 2. Chandler's one and done this week. Speaking of Chandler,
I do not watch Star Wars when I have time to myself. Just FYI.
yeah, he only watches.
Well,
he watches Gone in 60 Seconds. He watches Tokyo Drift, Fast and the Furious films.
this is not Star Wars. I've watched that.
Okay.
Yes.
So what have you been watching?
Well, I had a couple days off work myself past week, so I did a lot of watching. Let's see. We finished The Better Sister on Amazon. Really good with Jessica Biel. Highly recommend
I
that.
haven't seen that.
It's not done yet because Apple's dumb and releases episodes one at a time. Stick with Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I watched that one too.
Is really good.
Yeah, I've been watching that. It's fun.
And then this isn't a show; it's a movie. But Apple released Echo Valley with Sydney Sweeney and I believe it's Julianne Moore.
Oh,
Really good.
I watched that.
Really good.
Do they kiss?
They don't.
Oh
I wish.
God.
Brendan's Butte's coming back with a bullet. Oh shoot! I've been in like deep movie, like trying to make up for lost time movie stuff. Like, Kara had never watched Con Air, so I made her watch Con Air with me.
Wow.
Yeah, she hadn't seen that.
Good for her.
Even I've seen it.
She hadn't seen Total Recall.
What?
So we watched Total Recall last night.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to think. There was a couple other movies I think that I've like forced her to watch with me recently, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to dig in deep for whenever we do the next episode. But I've organized my movie collection at this point. You can see it's no longer like all over the place. I actually thought about maybe trying to rearrange and set up the podcast at an angle to where we could be like filming in front of it, so that way we could actually use it as kind of like a display. But yeah, I've still got to go through all of my Laserdisc. But while I was doing that, I watched that. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the movie. It was Mark Wahlberg and Kurt Russell. I think it was called Deep Horizon. It was about the oil rig, the BP oil rig that blew up. I think it was called Deep Horizon, and it was
Never seen that.
it went over and like it kind of detailed like the incident itself, and then showed like there were 10 fatalities on the oil rig.
Deepwater Horizon.
Deepwater Horizon, that's what it was. Yeah, Deep Horizon I think is another movie. But yeah, Deepwater Horizon was interesting to see. Malkovich was in that too. I wasn't expecting to see him, but I do this thing where I'm sure everybody probably has this happen to him now, or maybe it's just a symptom of doing a movie podcast. I keep getting clips from TV shows and movies that pop up on my feed in like Instagram and YouTube Shorts, where it's just like, oh, that looks interesting. What is that movie? And I'll go I try to identify the actors in the clip and then find the movie so I can watch that movie, because I'm like, I don't think I've seen this yet. I've got one that I saw the other day. It's a Bruce Willis movie. I'm pretty sure I have a copy of it on DVD now. It's got Josh Duhamel in it. I think he's like witnesses a crime. And I forget what it's called though. I have to go back through it. It's like Fire or something like that. It's something weird. But yeah, I'm gonna dig through and go into like I've been doing that. Just like if I see one come up, I'm like, oh, what is this weird movie? I'm going to watch it. I'm Googling right now, see if I can find Josh Duhamel, because I'm sure he's the person in the movie that has the least amount of movies. What? I recognize him from that Aziz Ansari joke where he makes fun of Josh Duhamel for only being in Las Vegas. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been watching. I'm still searching through. He's in a bunch of like B movies, so it's gonna be a dig for me to find it. But while I look for this movie, let's mosey on over to the snack bar. I was right, by the way. It's called Fire. And tell me what you ate while you're watching this movie. Did you have a sweet treat, Chan Dog?
I had some corn dip that we made with some nachos.
I was gonna say, what the hell is corn dip? I was so lost for a second there.
Corn dip.
Yeah, which the amount of it that I ate, it's it's not a snack.
How many ears of corn did you eat while you're eating your corn dip?
It's so good. That's what we had.
Was it good?
Oh, yeah.
You recommend corn dip?
I do.
Okay.
How do you eat your corn?
What, huh?
He said with nachos. He said corn with
do you
nachos.
eat it like this, or do you like take the cob? No.
I'm glad you were off mic for that.
I'm so glad you're back.
I'm coming in hot.
He's back, baby.
Yeah.
Do you cream your corn? Brendan's the motion Brendan was making is for sure going to cream some corn.
Do you shuck your
Brendan,
Shuck it.
Brendan, what do you recommend? What did you eat?
I didn't eat anything while I watched this. What I recommend, I brought a box. I ate it before we started because I love it so much. Bunch of Crunch. This movie, like I said, my favorite movie we've done so far. I love this. I love everything about it. I'm super excited. I love Bunch of Crunch. Everything is better in like bite-sized, tactile things. We talked about this a long time ago, but it's great. So get yourself some of this. Enjoy it.
Okay. I didn't eat anything while we were watching this one. I think because we were watching it pretty late. But he eats in this movie what is like pink coconut flavored.
Does he
Hostess
eat them or does Baby-O eat them?
He's eaten one and then he hands another one off to Baby-O. I've never had those, but they're coconut flavored, and I hate that, so I'm not going to pick that. But I just wanted to point that out. That is one thing that I did notice, and I was like,
They looked awful too, right?
they did not look good to me.
No.
The pink and then chocolate and like vanilla filling.
It looked fake. Like that's what I mean.
Like a made-up snack?
If it even looked like a snack cake, it would be okay. But it looked like a fake thing.
Yeah, it looked kind of like a foam, is what it kind of looked.
Styrofoam.
It,
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me like something you would eat like at Easter. It looked like a peep on the outside. You know, like those pink peeps, right?
Yes.
That just like doesn't look. It didn't look appetizing. But I did want to point that out because that was like the one food item that you see in this movie.
Did you catch the retro Cool Ranch Dorito bag? That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cooler Ranch.
Dude, there were some things that I think that that could slip past you when they're in the airfield. Like, was it Learning or is that where the
Lerner.
Lerner? Sorry, Lerner Airport. That like just I want to talk about that, but let's talk about snack first. My snack, I didn't really think too hard on this one because like this is one of my like favorite Nick Cage movies. It's it's a classic. I think that I'm probably going to say because it's a classic. What I would recommend that you have with this is just a Diet Coke. I'm going to recommend a drink snack. Just have a Diet Coke. Or actually, a Coke for most people. I'm a Diet Coke person, so I would just sip on a Coke because it's a classic. It's classic Coke. Classic.
Okay. You're saying
Sorry,
Diet
guys.
Coke because it's classic, but just curious, do you prefer Diet Coke or Coke Zero?
Coke Zero.
I think Coke Zero is way better.
I just drink Diet Coke. I don't think I don't like. If given the option, probably I would pick a Diet Coke up.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't really like. I just always grew up with a Diet Coke. I never had like Coke Zero to actively get into.
Cool.
I know.
Sounds like you belong on this plane like with these guys, but that's fine.
Yeah, they call me Garland Green. So that's enough for me for snacks. What did you find for facts, Brendan? What's your IMDb info? What do we want to call it? In-flight facts?
In-flight facts.
Yeah, in-flight facts.
I thought about that for 4 seconds.
The movie is Con Air. Length 2 hours and 3 minutes. This was released on June 6th, 1997. Written by Scott Rosenberg. Directed by Simon West. Produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. Cast Nicolas Cage as Cameron Poe. John Cusack as U.S. Marshal Vance Larkin. John Malkovich as Cyrus the Virus Grissom. Steve Buscemi as Garland. The Marietta Mangler Green. Did they say Marietta Mangler? during
I don't
the
think
movie?
they ever did.
Yeah. Ving Rhames as Nathan Diamond Dog Jones. Cole Meany as DEA agent Duncan Malloy. Mykelti Williamson as Mike Baby-O Odell. Rachel Ticotin as Officer Sally Bishop. Monica Potter as Trisha Poe. Dave Chappelle as Joe Pinball Parker. MC Gainey as Earl Swamp Thing Williams, John Roselius as Deputy Marshal Skip Devers, Renelli Santiago as Sally Can't Dance Martinez, and Danny Trejo as Johnny 23 Baca. Budget $75 million. Box office $224. Synopsis: just paroled Army Ranger Cameron Poe is headed back to his wife, but must fly home aboard a prison transport flight dubbed Jailbird with some of the worst criminals living or alive. Along with Diamond Dog and Baby-O, genius serial killer Cyrus the Virus unleashes a violent escape plot in mid-flight. Secretly working with U.S. Marshal Vance Larkin, Poe tries to foil Grissom's plan.
Okay, I'm going to admit something to you guys, because I watched this movie when I was younger. Probably like, when did it release?
97.
97. I probably watched it.
In theaters.
I might have
You probably drove
with my
yourself.
dad. But I feel like when I watched this, I was like 11 or 12. Or like I was really young. I didn't pick up on the subplot that they were hired by the drug lord that was on that on the flight to break him out, and that like the betrayal piece was like that they were supposed to all get on this jet and just like leave the rest of the convicts behind, but him, Swamp Thing, and Diamond Dog were all gonna or Cyrus the Virus being him, we're gonna take this drug lord and put him on this. I didn't pick up on that at all the first time I watched this movie.
No.
And subsequently, I don't think I ever like really sat down and like paid attention when this movie was on. I just kind of like watched it in the background. But watching it now, like I was like, oh, I didn't know this. This is so weird. Like that actually makes way more sense that they were hired to do this, because it was like, a jailbreak just makes sense. It's like as a normal plot, but they had like, they kept talking about a benefactor or like somebody. I just kind of wrote it off when I was younger. But yeah, I thought that was like, wow, that was more in depth than I thought it was going to be, and it like tied it together with the DEA agent too. So I was like, oh, they did a lot of like stuff that I didn't even think of. It was a little smarter than I thought it was when I watched it initially.
Yeah.
But the one thing that you were talking about when you were going through their names, right? So we got Pinball Parker. We
Yes.
got Diamond Dog.
Yeah.
We get like all of the there was so much alliteration with these names that I wanted to do a game based off of like best villain names, but I couldn't like put together a good list because every time I would put together a list, I was like these are way too easy. Like I was like, so I can like here first one I looked up because I was trying to like do movies that I figured you would both know, kind of thing. So Hans Landa,
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards, Voldemort.
Harry Potter.
So they either go like really, really easy or really, really hard, because I was like, I went from those two to I think it was
Thanos.
I was thinking of here, I might list up here.
Brenden would have won this game if you would have actually done it.
No, I think honestly, Dolores Umbridge was another one that I had.
Oh, she's from Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Fifth one, right?
Annie Wilkes.
Jesus.
Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes. This is my hardest one, I thought.
I know.
Is it a Western movie?
No.
No? What is it? Oh, wait. Misery.
It's for Misery. Wow.
Damn it.
I can't believe you got that. That's great.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, cool. The time you don't do a game is the time I knew him.
I thought about doing like also
Wow.
Regina George.
That's Mean Girl.
Mean Girls.
Yeah. So I thought about doing a game based off of that, but maybe I'll do something like that in the future.
But
Because
he didn't, so this doesn't count.
But I did want to ask you
You
guys
lose.
if you guys had to pick like a villain name, or what do you think like the best villain name would be? Like, because Cyrus the Virus is pretty great, right?
Yeah, I don't want to just be. Yeah, that's it. I mean Cyrus the Virus Grissom. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a heck of a it's hard to top that. Like that's why I was like, you got Voldemort, which is like they just like he who shall not be named for like the longest time. It's like, oh, we don't even say his name because he's so bad and scary. We don't want him to come back. Or you got Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Like it seems like a lot of those are just like single words.
Yeah, one namers.
Yeah, one namers.
Yeah.
Or but then like I like the alliteration though. Like you got Billy Barker, right? And like you
Billy
got
Bedlam.
Billy Bedlam. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just like BB. Like I would be Ryker the Ripper or something like that, or Brenden the Bunghole.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was thinking bastard, but bunghole. I'll take it. Sure, why not? Cool.
Brenden the Bungholer.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Chandler the chimpanzee.
Wow.
So he throws his feces at people and kills them.
Wow.
He's trying to he's reeling from that. Anyway,
Sounds right.
Anyway, let's get in. I really want to talk about this movie. I want to get as much time as we can for the movie. So we're going to start spoiling the movie. I recommend you go check it out. It's on Hulu currently. I think you can pretty much rent it anywhere though. Like it's on the cycle. So
It's on a few things. Yeah. This
Yeah.
was probably one of the more widely available movies we've done.
Yeah, it's Nick Cage, so a lot of his stuff is pretty easily available. Everybody likes Nick Cage, so let's get his movies out there. I recommend it. Brennan recommended it. It's his favorite movie. Chandler recommends it. So we're going to start spoiling the movie in 3, 2, 1. You boys got facts? I have purposely avoided facts because I want to be... I talk too much, so this is my way of giving back.
I had a question
Yeah.
for both of you, just to start this movie at the very beginning.
Do I have to say it? 9 inches.
I knew it. I knew it. I looked at you, and I'm glad. I love
looked at
that
you.
I love that you knew what I was waiting for you to do.
Jesus.
Okay. Anyway, question.
You both come back from the war. You know, you're out, you're done, you did what you needed to do. I don't think they actually say how long he's been gone, but where is the first place that you'd want to be coming home to? Not an Alabama oyster bar that you've probably hung out at since you were 16 years old, and you have to wait for your wife/girlfriend, whatever she is, to get off her shift. Okay, my point is, I think when you get back, there's way more important things you should be doing, like
Because he meets her there.
He cruises up on a boat.
right.
Like that's like the most like wild thing to me out of the whole thing. He's like he didn't fly into somewhere that he could just he just cruises up on a boat.
He takes a plane to come back from prison, comes back on an oyster boat from war. Just let that sink in. Okay.
Well, yeah, and then it's not like this is a great point. So then he comes back, and it's not like it's a bar that they've been together a long time and they know, and when he comes in, everybody's like,
here.
"Oh, Cameron, hey!" Nobody does that.
Yeah.
It's like they've never fucking been there.
Which
Wow.
It's just where she works. That's it. That's the only connection they have.
right.
Oh yeah, that's right. She does work there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which is weird. That's weird to me that she
But shouldn't
works
she
there
be
and he's
working in a somewhere if she's working at a bar in the town where they met in, right? So again, those people there should know him. The fact that they don't know him is weird.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And can we talk about the fight scene that happens shortly after? Hold on. Before that, I made the comment about the freaking song, right? How Do I Live?
Yeah.
It was playing hardcore when they show up and they start dancing and all that fun stuff. And then they start to here's some discourse between a drunk at the bar. And then she makes a comment she's like, I thought I saw that man coming out again. I'm like, he didn't do anything. He barely said, he just was he just stood his ground against that drunk guy that was hitting on his wife in front of him very clearly.
Well, yeah, what dark past does he have? I think we missed some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, I thought I saw that guy coming out again. Did he
the monster?
Yeah, did he have to leave town because of the fact that he was are they in the witness protection program and that's why she...
I don't know, man.
But no, okay, so they leave the bar, right? And a torrential downpour has started. This is the most Michael Bay exit and fight scene that I've ever seen in my life. Even more so than Michael Bay. They leave. There is an oil derrick just pumping beside them, and the three dudes are like, "Hey, soldier boy," and it's
And they're already getting in the car.
Yeah.
Like they could just get in the car and drive away.
They literally could. And he steps out of it. Was like
Steps into the pouring ass rain.
I was like, I agree with his wife because all he needed to do was get in the car.
Yeah.
Right.
She was already in the car. It's not like there was anything holding him back. He just was like, well, I gotta fight him because they said my name. That's really it. But there's a freaking fire like spouting out of like a steam stack in the distance too. Like all of like this is like the most intense crap. But he starts to get beat up by these three drunks. Honestly, I feel like he's a trained soldier. He probably like he could have beat them all up without getting touched at all. But he just like, I don't know if maybe he was like, well, let's just settle this like gentlemen initially. But then he like, yeah. Then the dude pulls the knife and he does kill shot. But nose right into the brainstem, which I'm pretty sure if you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, you see that move and you know it's a kill shot from like all the movies and stuff that did it. But I wonder if there's any logic to that. And like, does that happen? Like, is that like a trait? Like, is that a thing people are trained to do? Like,
That's what they teach you in the military.
but yeah, that's which makes him, by the way, a weapon. Like, I think,
Yes.
oh, you were held to a different standard, which I'm almost positive. Do you remember in the Hollywood movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? My brain is like not coming back.
Once
I'm
upon a
still
time
sick.
in Hollywood.
Thank you. I'm still sick, so it's like still like coming back. My brain. When they have that conversation with Bruce Lee, I'm almost positive this is kind of like a shot at this
Oh, yeah,
movie
yeah,
too,
yeah,
because
yeah.
he's like, if I fight you and I kill you, I'll be sent to jail. He's like, anybody kill anybody in a fight, they go to jail. It's called manslaughter. Like that's exactly what happens. It's like he pled guilty to get a lesser sentence, and then he's like, you're a weapon. You can't be on the streets. And then they put him in jail for like the max sentence.
Did you like that? As if we didn't need any more confirmation that he killed the guy. Do you like how she had to go get the bartender? The guy that owns the bar. She had to go get him. He comes out, checks him. He dead.
That man dead. Which just it leads to what, like, there are so many funny lines in this movie that just like the stuff that they say, the delivery is like great.
Also, this guy, fresh out of the military, he kills a guy in self-defense. What was it? 4 against 1, 5,
3 against 1.
Okay. You're telling me he doesn't get any help from the military or anybody? It's you gotta take a plea.
He gets a crappy lawyer from like town.
Did you see how rough this lawyer looked, man? Like,
Yeah, he's like, I haven't won a case ever. Like, so he's like, he's dabbing himself with like a handkerchief. He's like, oh no, you gotta plead guilty. You're going to jail forever. Which, by the way, I was like, I feel like self-defense would have been the claim there because he pulled a knife on him. But no, just guilty. That's just it. And then then we get the time skip, like like all the stuff happening in jail. And when he said his name first, Baby O, I was like, is he saying Baby O? I can't.
I thought he was saying like Davio or something.
Yeah,
like it was a European
Davio
thing
or
or
something,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
well, how could you with that accent?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. It's like baby out now,
Dude,
Jeez.
then we get the letters, them writing letters back and forth, and approximately 3 letters encompasses his whole 7-year prison sentence.
Wait, wait, hold on. Would you mind if I read one of the letters?
Please do. Please do.
Dearest Trisha, I think of you always. Your smile, your laugh. I'm not angry. The blame's gotta fall on me.
Is this Forrest Gump in prison, dude?
I am, however, torn apart when I think about that I won't be there to see our child come into the world, cradled into your arms in her first smile. I got your package. The pink coconut things have got me quite popular. Okay? So then that goes on. All right, but I'll let that go. Then one other one, quick one. Dear Casey, it was so good to read your letter. I'm glad you like your teacher. We don't exactly have a playtime like you. We do go outside, though, but normally we don't hold hands. That's the
Normally?
letters. Yeah, normally. Normally.
I didn't want my daughter meeting me in prison. And oh,
Dude, I didn't realize 3 letters over the course of 10 years.
that's all we get. Anyway, we get like, I'm sure they wrote more. I'm sure.
Maybe.
But Yeah.
Also, his wife sucks. The package he gets, it's that letter, an off-road magazine, a bag of Cooler Ranch Doritos, the pictures, gum, and a pack of those Hostess pink snowballs. That's what's in the package.
Her salary is that of a woman working as a waitress in an oyster
All
bar
right, now
in
you're making me
Alabama.
feel bad. Now you make me feel bad. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Trisha.
She did the best. She probably lost her job after all that, too.
Yeah, her husband killed a man in the parking lot.
Are you going to be here for your shift tomorrow?
Trisha, you're going to be off a few days.
Are you gonna be in for your shift tomorrow? She misses court because she's gonna be working.
He dead.
He's dead. That by the way, that he's the bartender and also the town doctor. That's how small that town is.
Ryker, I'm sorry, but I have a note here. Him working out in the prison. I have a note here that says, Ryker, why do you need a complete gym set up in your garage whenever this man's doing just
Oh, hell yeah.
everything he needs in prison?
Headstands.
Yeah, he's doing.
Is that? And I'm sorry, but that's you. I see you.
Dude, when he does the thing where he's got his legs
balancing.
crisscross applesauce in front of him and he's balancing on two hands. I was like, is that doing anything? What is that for? Is he meditating? What is that?
Core strength.
It's a core workout. Core and fingertip workout. I'm surprised they didn't have him gouge someone's brain out with his fingertips during the movie. Yeah. Then we don't have to keep in linear, but I feel like it's everything that's happening is like you want to stop. Like the stuff with like insulin. Also, so the whole premise of this is that he has to get on this plane because he can't be released from another prison. He has to be released from the prison he was initially detained in, which seems wild to me. I feel like that's just made up to make the movie work. Like we have to, and also why was he transferred? Like he doesn't seem like a violent or problematic like prisoner. So he gets transferred at some point during his stay in prison. But he has to be back on this plane so he can go back to his original jail so he can be released. And he's going on this flight with Baby-O, who's also being transferred. And Baby-O is diabetic and needed his shot the day before. Like, I don't know enough about diabetes, but I'm pretty sure when you get, like, now they do, like, they check and see, and they're like, oh, you need an insulin shot because you haven't had enough food or anything along those lines, and your sugar's low. But like he just knows, he's like, I need my shot. You didn't give me my shot. Like he's getting daily shots for his insulin. I don't know if that's something that's like standard, but I feel like a lot of it's kind of like made up to make the movie like work.
I think that is true. The problem I have more so with it is like him and Baby-O have to go on this maximum security plane with all these other chuckle fucks that are like clearly dangerous criminals. But these guys, you know what I mean? Like they even Cusack even says he's like Cameron Poe's a nobody. Like he's not killed 30 people or like, you know, like I'm like, what? Why wouldn't this just be the maximum, the worst of the worst people? Why are we taking regular criminals with these guys? Also,
this flight, like, I don't think this is a flight that like exists regularly. This is like a made up plane for the story of this, right? But like, because
no. I think they do use that plane like for flights, but
really?
I think this is like I think they even say something like, "Oh, hey, we got a great one today, guys!" Like it's like he's an announcer at a ball game.
Just meant like in reality, is there a plane that is just for transferring prisoners?
In real life?
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing because I think they just
probably
transfer them on
not.
regular planes with guard, like a marshal, or something, or drive them.
That's a job I would not want to do.
Oh, July 14th was the date. I wrote it down. We were all talking before because we were recording on we're behind the curtain a little bit. We were recording on June 15th, and everybody kind of watched the movie yesterday. So if it would have been June 14th, it would have been pretty funny. Like her letter, my daddy's coming home on July 14th. I'm gonna see my daddy for the first time on July 14th. Jailbird, awesome name for a plane that carries convicts. That's pretty great.
Yes.
I also wrote, this is kind of like a great tie-in. Bishop, like we just did Aliens. Bishop is the name of the robot in Aliens, which I thought was like, I was like, oh wow, I didn't even make that connection until I was watching it. And then I put, why is Larkin wearing sandals? because they at one point say like the DEA like head agent says something like he's probably saving the world or recycling and those stupid sandals, and I was like, they never really acknowledge the fact that he's wearing sandals except for that moment, but like you can see he's wearing some sort of brown laced sandals that you can see his sock through whenever he's like doing the what you were talking about, where he's going through all like the prisoner list, and I was like, why is he wearing socks and sandals? Who is the real villain in this movie? That's my note.
I liked the little line, "Lady is a dog in a Disney movie. My name is Bishop." He calls her, "Hey, lady." And I just want to acknowledge again, this movie is awesome for so many reasons, but one of them is just the nicknames of all of the people. We have Billy Bedlam,
Yeah.
Diamond Dog, Cyrus the Virus, Johnny 23, Pinball Parker, Sally Can't Dance, Swamp Thing, and then Garrett. Steve Buscemi's. I don't think they say in there.
Garland Green.
Garland Green's is the Marietta Mangler. Like, these are incredible.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
What amazing writing.
That's why I was like, oh man, these are all great names. But I feel like there's no other movie that I feel like does bad guy names better.
No, you're right.
Yeah, and the alliteration on some of them too. Like, but yeah, Johnny 23. Johnny 23 is call me Johnny 600 if they really knew.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
What
I don't mean to elegantinize or
Yeah.
like that, but I mean, what a
No.
Yeah.
This movie was like full of like lines. Like it was great. Like he gets the picture taken off of him by the guard's like, there's no personal items on this. Like, that's fine, just as long as you know I'm getting that back. And he's like, you tell me what I'm gonna do, convict? He's like, you heard me. just the way they're back and forth.
I told you I'd get that back.
Yeah, later on, yeah, delivers it real quick, and then he uses that as a guise of like, so he can like touch the guard and put like the tape on him later on. But yeah, just also okay, so we're doing a little bit more jumping, which is great. I think there's so much popping on. No, go ahead. What do you got?
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, go.
So they put I'm sorry, but they put a DEA agent on there undercover. I don't think they knew they put the most unhinged dude that they could ever find to go on that plane. It's like, dude, what is your problem? Like, he was freaking out.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you though? You'd
Well,
be like, they're taking this thing over. I didn't expect that.
Listen,
Like,
if he keeps his cool for like 5 seconds,
Right.
and just like, oh, I'm unchained now. Great. I'm gonna walk up, and then I'm behind Cyrus the Virus now. Boom, my gun that I had for but he pops straight up and grabs somebody and holds him hostage like he's going to take over the whole plane again.
No, he grabs Pinball Parker. He grabs Chappelle though, because Chappelle's unhooking his things.
Yeah.
His ankles. He's gonna see that he's got a gun. That's why he does it.
He was already done with that leg. Like he had already unhooked
Yeah.
that leg. He was free and clear at that point.
I
So
thought he did the one leg and the other leg's where the gun was.
I
Sorry.
thought the same thing. And that's why I was paying attention this time. I was like, I'm gonna like watch this, and yeah, he's already free and clear. So I was thinking, like, if he just like didn't freak out for 4 seconds and just like took time, he could have easily taken over the plane. Also, the gun, they're worried about the gun that the DEA agent is gonna have, right? And they got Cusack even later on is like, you brought a gun onto my plane. That gun didn't do anything. The pilot, so they get a fire alarm in the cockpit, right? And he's like, take the gun and go check on it. Why? Like, if they didn't leave that cockpit, if that cockpit is locked, there's no issue, right?
Right.
They added that gun to the situation. The pilots were the ones that like really caused the biggest problem, and then they had the plane and they had a gun, and that was really it. But yeah, they don't leave the cockpit. Movie doesn't happen.
Right.
Movie's over fast. But like that's again, we want the movie to happen, so like we have to add on to that. But yeah, the thing I wanted to point out that I thought was great, I didn't even think about it initially. When Chappelle is getting his like stuff checked, he the guard that's checking him is like, your breath smells like shit, and like stops paying attention to him right away.
Oh, he does that.
Yeah, he made his breath smell bad on purpose because he didn't want him looking in his mouth very much, because he had that thing tied off in the back of his mouth so he could pull it out later. I was like, oh man, I didn't even think about that when I like initially had watched this movie or any other subsequent viewing. I was like, oh, that's great. Like that was like premeditated. He had bad breath on purpose so that way he could pull that out. And then when he sits down, he's like, God damn, sitting next to the last of the Mohicans.
No, he says
How?
the guy doesn't want to talk to him. He's like, don't get all wounded knee on me.
Oh
and then he
my
lights him on
God.
fire later, and he goes, the last Mohican is burning, man.
Oh, that's what it was. The
It's
last
incredible.
Mohican was burning. Dude, that was man. Yeah, Chappelle in this like delivers some great. I'm with the Department of Corrections. Like he's like he's like I haven't. He's like, what is this? Something like I haven't seen a woman as beautiful as you in like 5 to 10, something like that.
Doesn't he say, I'm in the Department of Corrections? I thought he
Yeah,
says erection.
He did.
No, he starts saying that's why I said it. He's like I'm in the Department of Corrections. Like he starts to say erections and then says corrections.
I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, to be honest with you. And when Chappelle came on the screen, I was like, holy shit, I completely forgot this guy was in this. And he was awesome.
Oh yeah,
I loved it.
He was delivering like everything, and then he's gone, and just like, oh man, he was such a fun character to have around.
He's the guy that gets caught in the landing gear,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
right.
amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna bounce through some notes. You got any notes, Chandler? You want to pop on?
I mean, I wrote down a lot about just how much Cage's physique was in this movie. Like 3%. Shut up. 3% body fat though. He is ripped in this movie.
I feel weird now that you
Yeah,
asked me
he-
to wear this. Look at how ripped he was. So, okay.
No, but he was he was working out in between takes.
Oh, I mean,
Like they would yell cut, and he would go lift dumbbells. Like
which really doesn't come into play much. Like him being like really strong doesn't like have any of it.
No.
Like just a look. It's just his
yeah,
look.
yeah.
Gotta look the part.
There was so I made a note. I was like, why did we need to have Cyrus the Virus? One of probably the most recognizable bad guys on the planet is out in the sandstorm and takes his mask off to talk to the cops. And like he's like just like
Well, didn't you know if you have goggles on, nobody recognizes you?
yeah, it's like a very Superman scenario there. Like it's just like he's the one out of the plane. All I could think was like, why would you run that risk? But I guess he is mental, right? So it does kind of play out.
Also, they knew he was on that plane.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I could see, like, oh, he's a recognizable criminal, but he's just like, oh, yeah, he's been on the TV. It's like, no, he was a prisoner on the plane. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
you look kind of like that guy.
Having
Like,
a conversation with one of the people that knows who's supposed to be on the plane.
right. It's
Like,
amazing.
yeah. Let's see. And then, then I made a note. I was like, beating an inmate is what led to them finding the tape. So they're beating the shit out of one of the guards in the back of the, like, he's like, shut up, because he's like, they're making noise. So he just slams him in the chest, and he like falls over, and the tape rolls out, and very cinematically rolls and smacks him in the back of the foot, which I thought was like, oh, that's like, they do so many like good shots in this movie. Like there's so many just like neat, like, I don't know, like really well done like shots and angles that they get. It's great. Like, and then they stop and then they keep going. And then the guy that like didn't recognize Cyrus initially in his car, they're like, the plane's been taken over, stall him. He's like, oh great. Like the way he says it is like another Monday. Like it was like so
Matter
like,
of fact.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what are you doing? Like it's like this should be like oh my God.
This happened.
All right.
This happened yesterday.
Yeah. It's just like it's so weird.
Did you guys? I have to bring this up.
Yeah.
I don't know about when you guys were looking for notes, but they hardly say anything about Steve Buscemi in this movie, like at all. I didn't find hardly any notes about him or why he did the movie, but he was definitely different in this movie. And I'm sorry, but the scene when they land and he goes off and does his own thing. That scene with the little girl is just cringy, man. Like it's
creepy.
I was for the longest time. You think if he's like dreaming the whole thing or not? I'm like, is there actually a little girl there? Like, do people live there?
Well,
and
one thing I did want to point out, so you guys remember? Okay, so I'm pretty sure. So we see the scene of Garland Green getting off of the transport thing, and everybody's freaking out about him. Do you remember the movie The New Guy?
Yeah.
Vaguely. Yeah.
Where the kid like gets trained up by some like convicts or some like bad guys to be like, because he's like doing like a prison visit or something like that, and they show him how to be a tough guy so he can be the cool guy at school. When they do the intro to that movie, or of him going to that school, I'm pretty sure they're spoofing this movie. Like, because he gets out and he's got like a face mask off and he like shakes all the gear off of him. But like the way they release him is exactly the same as this. But Garland Green, no one else is dressed like him. Everybody else is just wearing like brown and blue jeans kind of thing. He's wearing a white jumper. Like, that's like differentiates him completely. He's the most evil guy, but he's wearing white. If he'd have drank milk in this movie, I'd have lost my mind.
Oh yeah.
but yeah, like he's like, and it's so funny because like at one point, Cage and Baby-O are having a conversation, and like they just like talk about like oh yeah, we got to figure out how we're gonna do this thing, and then they look over and they're just like, hey Garland.
Yeah.
he's just there, and like he's got like some of the most like poignant like points during the whole movie. But yeah, I think this is at a time where like Buscemi was showing up like in a lot of stuff. Like he was just kind of like there. He was like
Nothing like this.
he was a hot ticket, but like yeah, he was just there kind of thing. But yeah, he really doesn't do much in this movie besides that like weird scene where you're like afraid that something's gonna happen to the kid, and then later on, because they sang "I Got the Whole World in My Hands" while he was with that child, he starts to sing it while the plane is crashing, which is like very weird and eerie.
Yeah.
I loved him as a character.
Oh,
Garland, love your work. Oh my God, it's so good. So freaking good. 30 people. What does he say? One girl, I drove through 3 states wearing her head as a hat.
And then Cage is like, hey, it's my daughter's birthday today, so
Yes.
if you ever have a feeling you want to talk to me again, just don't talk to me anymore. I don't want to have a conversation with you. This is so good. I made a reference, like, so they made a Keystone Cops reference. You guys know what Keystone Cops is?
No.
It's like an old TV show. It was like, I think it was kind of like just like flying by the seat of their pants kind of thing. But I was like, man, that is a old reference when this movie came out. No one now would ever get this freaking reference. I also made a note. The DEA can just get 2 armed choppers.
They can fly him? That's one of my biggest notes. Cusack and him are flying them at the end. I'm like, these are just regular dudes. They can fly helicopters?
I don't know if they were flying them. I think the guys behind them were flying them.
Well, it sure gave the appearance
It
they
really
were.
did. I'm not fighting on that, but I thought that was very funny. He's also yelling, like they're both like fighting and arguing with each other over the radio, which was funny. Pinball, right? Pinball gets caught under the plane. Cage writes a note on him and then pushes him out, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
The series of events that happens after that. Can we have a conversation real quick? So we cut from that, and then we get a scene of a city, right? We're in a city, and there's a guy waiting in line in a car with his wife.
I thought it was a commercial. I forgot.
It looked
I was
like
like,
a
oh, we went to commercial. That was smooth. It
Yeah.
was not a commercial.
And it's this, he's like, oh, God damn it. You see, every time I get this thing detailed, and it's like there's bird shit on the window, and his wife hands him a Kleenex, and he rolls his window down and reaches out and starts to wipe the shit off with a Kleenex. Have you ever in your life done that or had that inkling or seen anyone do that? That is the most unhinged thing I've ever seen just a human do. That was so weird.
Big 90s thing, man.
I guess so. That car apparently doesn't have windshield wipers or fluid. Oh, yes, it does, because I looked. There was a windshield wiper at the bottom of the... It's ridiculous. So she's like, oh, we're moving. And then they start to drive. They cut to the body plummeting from the sky.
Dave Chappelle fallen.
Slams into the car, pretty much like totals everything. But then they get hit from every angle by another car. They had a green light. Why did all of the other cars decide to just slam into them?
It's demo derby.
And it's like, are we supposed to be on board with this poor couple getting annihilated because he was upset a bird shit on his car? Like, it was so violent, so fast for those people. We were watching Total Recall last night, and I was like, there was something about like this time period where like collateral damage was like cool. Like they really wanted like collateral damage. Like there's a dude that's in front of Arnold on the escalators in that movie, and he gets shot 450 times.
That's not enough.
By like he's using him as a body shield. This wasn't a bad guy. This is just a guy. I was like, why? And that like I'm like thinking back to this movie, it's just like these people were just driving their car, and it was like, oh, we better crush their car with a body because he was upset about bird poop, and then also everybody in the Tri-County area is gonna hit them with their car. It was insane.
That's nothing though, because they obliterate half the strip at the end of the movie.
Oh my God.
You mean the world's longest plane crash?
Let's talk about that. I also really love the way that like the DEA agent handles it at the end. He's like, yeah, maybe we should have shot him down over the over the desert. And Larkin's like, nah, I think this is a way better outcome. They've like crashed this thing. Dude, the ending of this movie is some of the most like wild, like insane stuff and like ever. Like, so please start talk about it. I'm gonna shut up because I was talking for a while. You guys started
I forgot after the plane crashed that there was more. Like I forgot about that.
Oh, there has to be more.
Yeah, so plane crashes and then like those couple guys get away and they get in the fire truck and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
And then they, you know, the Cyrus getting handcuffed to the ladder and the ladder coming up and then yeah, this was the thing I found the craziest. So then the fire truck crashes and they're in the middle of the Vegas Strip and somehow his body flies and he falls into like an industrial thing and then the weight crushes his head. Where would that be on the Vegas Strip?
Nowhere.
It's incredible.
They just wanted
but that's why this movie's the best.
They wanted to kill him again.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't just kill him once, they had to kill him twice.
On that real quick. So the plane crashes, lands, whatever. Everybody's so calm and happy that they're finally on the ground. You had the biggest criminal on that plane, Cyrus the Virus, and everybody's just like, are they going to look for him? Like you just see just see him go past on top of a fire truck and they're like, oh, yeah, there he is.
Only Cusack and Cage notice it, and both of them like simultaneously, Cyrus, and then Cage hops on to a police like motorcycle.
He could have been done.
And yeah, he's done at this
his wife and kid are standing right over there.
No, they hadn't got off their personal helicopter ride from the DEA at that point. But both Cage and Cusack get on these bikes to like beside each other, and they look over, and it's just like it's almost like an acknowledgement of like, I'm allowed to do this. You're not really supposed to be, but you're with me, so it's okay. We'll do this together, bud. Like, cause like Cage is just stealing a motorcycle, like a cop's motorcycle at this point. He's like committing more crimes than he should have. We didn't even get to talk about Lerner. Man, there's so many weird things in Lerner. Like the whole just real quick. I know we're talking about all this stuff. I have to jump back to Lerner.
Yeah, no, we have plenty of time. This is great,
dude. Lerner, we get when we're at Lerner, he's wandering through this like little thing. They find the dead body up in the top of, or I guess Cusack finds the dead body of the radio tower operator, right? And then later we meet an old man who's under a truck, which is some of the funniest like dialogue of the whole movie, because everything he says is a joke. Like he sees the Cage and he's like terrified. He's like, you know where I can find a needle? And he's like, oh, son, drugs will kill you. And then he tells him where like the fire truck is. He's like, you just hold tight, old man. And he's like, easy for you to say. I gotta take a piss. It's so the building beside this man just exploded, and he's got a man like with a gun beside him, but like he's still cracking wise. I love it. But I am under the impression that Lerner Airfield has a trailer park beside it that only has one man that runs the radio tower, an old man, and a little girl that live in it. Like, and there's like 7 or 8 of these like trailers and no one else in sight. And also one of these old men owns a dress. Like that's like a dress that could fit a adult like woman. Like that's what we have going on at Lerner. And when Cage goes into the diner area, there's a plate of food like sitting. So like there's presumably a fry cook, probably a waiter or waitress, like, but we see no one else. We see 3 people in this whole town. I'm like, what is with this ghost town like situation? And like, I expect maybe there's more bodies. Like the people that were like part of the cartel guy came in and killed everybody else, but they never show it. It's very weird. And then we have Garland with his like expedition out where he sits with the little girl and has.
Are you sick? You look sick.
Yes.
Yes, I am sick. Why don't you take some medicine? They don't make medicine for the sickness I have.
Yeah. And then we get the weirdest fisheye lens of like him like looking at this little girl and she's singing. That was some of the most bizarre shooting in this whole like film.
Cringy.
I know I'm going nuts, but I got to talk again. We talked about Cusack brings up there's a small arsenal in the belly of the plane for of weapons. When the cops are coming to the airfield, all the convicts kind of line up and they get guns out of the bottom of the plane. And there are enough like assault rifles and shotguns to load up 20 people. And then there is a grenade launcher on this airplane. What is this stuff there for? If not
supposed to have any guns on the plane.
If not this assault on the entire like what was the why would you ever need that? Why would you ever need a grenade launcher?
I think it's there for the barbecue. Cyrus, it's your barbecue and it tastes good. Right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just here for some naked freaks. What was he? Umbrella drinks? Is that what he said at one point?
I don't even know.
He says that at one point. Naked freaks and umbrella drinks.
Jesus. My mama lives in a trailer.
Yeah, that's oh my god.
Can I say one thing, please?
Please say something instead of me, please.
So Cage has a gift for his daughter when he finally sees her, and it's a stuffed bunny.
Oh, you mean the stuffed bunny that washed down the road and into the sewer system for a second?
Got blood on it. I brought this for you. Could you thanks, Dad. This has blood on it, smells like piss, and
She doesn't give a shit about it, by the way.
Right.
She's real shitty. Sorry.
Yeah.
She's like, no. Like,
what? She's terrified by this man that's in front of her.
Yeah, but come on. It's a dad.
He's covered in blood and he looks as if he's strung out. That's what he like. He looks like a psychopath.
She seems very unsure, and then like gives him like a hug that you're supposed to buy. Like I'm like, I don't buy this hug.
It's the fakest hug ever.
They keep cutting to the little girl's face, and she looks terrified.
Yeah, she's like, "Who is this monster? That's my dad."
I was dying because my wife looked at me. She's like, "Yeah, this is a much better way to meet your daughter than in a prison, like a visiting room, covered in blood and just like explosions happening around you." Yeah, and then we get hit with the most beautiful soundtrack, and the "How Do I Live" starts to pump again at the end of this movie to really just end cap the.
Wait, before that we get a "Hey, Bo, next time take the bus." Like some smart ass comment. Like he had a choice. Like he had a choice, ma'am.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Bishop's full of vinegar. She's just almost assaulted on an airplane by a convict
Multiple times.
Yeah, dude. I love. I gotta say, one of my favorite like deaths of this movie that kind of happens off screen. It's Johnny 23.
Yeah.
When he's been handcuffed inside of the the little cube for like cube cage on the plane, and the plane has crashed, and his arm has been ripped off of his body.
Dude, it's incredible. Yeah, they're like, well, they got me. They're like, well, this one's dead. And I was like, oh, really? And then they take his body away, and the arm is still hanging there. And I was like, yeah, that's great,
dude.
It's hilarious.
It is kind of unsatisfying the way he beats, like he barely beats him up at all. Like whenever he's attacking Bishop, like he's like pulls him off, slams him against the cage a couple times, and maybe like hammers him once with like a punch, and he just kind of like okay, like or like that's not okay, but he gets like caged up at that point. But like when they cut back to him a little bit later, he looks way worse than he did. Like he looks beat up even more. Like maybe they took turns hitting him after they got back on the plane. Also, what was wrong with the back flap of the plane at the end of the movie? Like they couldn't put the goddamn like thing up. Like the ramp to the plane was just wide open the entire last half of the movie. Like after they crashed in the desert, it was just always down.
I need some air.
Yeah, like then they're shooting machine gun rounds through the entirety of the plane. And Garland Green just sitting calm as a cucumber throughout this whole thing. Then we get everybody off the plane. Then we're trying to do our head count at the end of the movie. You said they weren't looking for the worst of the worst, which was Cyrus of the Virus. They couldn't find Garland Green, who was playing craps, baby.
Living the best life.
Over under 50 people he murders on the strip that night.
Dude, that's actually like a one of the like I guess fan theories. You've probably heard this before. There's a fan theory that Garland Green is actually the same character as the Big Lebowski. That Garland Green escapes from there. Actually, it goes even further. It's like Billy Madison. Remember Billy Madison? Whenever he's calling people, God. Like Billy Madison calls Steve Buscemi's character, who's got a kill list in his room. He shows up with a gun and saves Billy at one point, and then he disappears. So a lot of people say that was actually Garland Green, and he starts his killing spree there. He gets caught, ends up on Con Air. The plane crashes. He gets away in Vegas. He goes and moves to a new town and meets the dude and Donnie. Or no, he's Donnie. The dude and I can't remember the other guy's name. Anyway, he meets the dude, and they start a bowling league. And every time you see Donnie, he's wearing a new, a different bowling shirt with a different name on it. So they think that he's still like killing people and just taking their bowling shirts in that movie too, like until he ultimately dies in The Big Lebowski.
Interesting. Honestly, this is so stupid. I don't think he kills anyone else. I think he's a changed man. I think the experience with the little girl, and also I think Nick Cage and Baby O, like just talking to him like a normal person. I think he's like, yeah, man, I don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah. He literally
said he convinced me.
He literally wore a girl's head on his head for three states. For three states. Sorry.
3 states.
But he's changed by just having a conversation with a couple of people.
Totally.
If Cage would have just done his kill move on the plane to everybody, they would have been fine. Just the
Can we real quick? I know we're a little bit over. We're getting close to wrapping up, but when Baby O takes the fall for Cage, he's like, "Yeah, it was me. I've been pulling the strings behind the curtain."
That's not even believable.
And Cyrus is like, "Yeah, the guy that's been like barely able to move because of their diabetes this whole time." And he's like, "Yeah, pretty smart, wasn't it?" He's like, "No, this is a terrible lie. I'm gonna shoot you anyway, though." And he shoots him, and then we get the entire scene of like them having like this conversation. My wife, by the way, was super pissed off. She's like, if he dies after we went through this whole damn movie of him trying to get this syringe for this guy, and he gets it.
I felt the same way.
And he's like, she's like, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad if he dies. And then Cage, he's like, when he's having the conversation, he's like, I just don't know if God is real. And then Cage stands up. He's like, where are you going? He's like, to show you God is real.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
It's such a good line, but it's so weird. It's such like, I feel like he could have been like, he could have said something way harder at that point, but instead he just says this like, to show you God is real. He could have been like, I honestly, I feel like he was just trying to channel Malkovich from Of Mice and Men. He's playing Lenny in that movie.
I really liked when Nick Cage finds the needle and he's like, well, got to do this. And he goes to run back to the plane. The serious music that's playing and all the fire and the gunshots and shit he's dodging is really funny.
Dude.
I like that.
Yeah, like you couldn't have just taken the path that you took.
He's driving a police
to get
car on
there?
fire at the very end. Yeah.
He runs through gunfire and gets in a cop car. Which, by the way, why did no other cop do that? Like,
don't know.
there's just a cop car sitting there on fire. But again, that goes back to like, why was there a grenade launcher on the plane? It's like, I was like, I could see if it was like a tear gas launcher or something like that, but to have grenade rounds in it that they could use to block off the entirety of it, wild. Also, we didn't even talk about the plane dragging that car behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the ass kicker.
The ass kicker.
Yeah. That can't be my car. I left it at the office or left it at the hangar.
Oh, there was a little, I guess like flub, I think, that happens. Like Cusack goes into that the hangar and he's like, I need a plane, and like or a plane or a helicopter, and the guys are like, yeah, us too. Like it's like, oh, okay, and then behind him you can see by the door that car has a gigantic like blue tarp over top of it protecting it, and then he gets out and he goes to his car and that car is completely just like open to the
Really?
air. Yeah, I know.
didn't catch that.
I caught it just out of like the because it's like a bright blue thing behind him. I thought that was interesting. But yeah. Any other final thoughts? I know we kind of like bounced.
I know we
around
went
with
all
that.
over the place, but that's because that's what this movie is.
Yeah.
It is an insane 90s action movie that you just have to keep up with. And
Yeah, I kind of apologized to my wife after too. I was like,
For what?
I was
Why?
like, I know that this movie isn't an amazing cinematic masterpiece.
What?
This movie is made to be action, like go nuts, let's have fun, like do some like crazy stuff like movies. So you kind of have to be in like a mindset to like, I just want to watch some like fun, cool explosions. And I know people are probably like that might have listened to the other podcast or like, well then why don't you like Speed? Because Speed has like nothing going on like half of the movie.
Bullshit, dude. Speed
Fight you tooth and nail.
Speed is amazing.
In comparison to this movie, Speed would put me to sleep.
Yeah, this movie is way better than Speed, and I like Speed.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, but so like there's a lot of action, a lot of stuff happening in this movie all over the place. And it's got some of the corniest lines that get delivered in it, and it's got some of the worst music that you can pick. Like a lot of it's like there's like no like they play Sweet Home Alabama at one point, which is funny. They do
at
it
the
all-
end,
Yeah, they do
at
it-
the end when they show all the actors.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're not really playing like they're just kind of doing like orchestral stuff in the background, and then they do the couple of like licensed songs. But I feel like this movie's kind of nutso butso. Like it kind of just like goes crazy mode. Like you got to just disband your belief. Like just you have to be able to like live in the moment and watch this thing and just kind of know like things are going to be wild. And you can't expect that you're going to get anything of like substance out of this. This is just kind of like this is a popcorn movie. Like
but
this is a movie.
but they don't make They don't make action movies like this anymore.
No, they don't make.
I mean, nothing recent.
We don't get. I think our most like which is kind of weird to say. I know I've asked this question before of like who is the action stars now. I think it's older people. Denzel Washington is one of like the bigger action stars now from like the Equalizer like series, and those movies are kind of made just like to how fast can we have the action happen, because this guy is in his like 70s 80s and it's like we can't have him doing like action for minutes at a time, whereas John Wick is like we're gonna have like an hour-long action scene because Keanu Reeves is still young enough to do stuff like that.
I mean, we're coming into a time of action movies where there's going to be a turning point. Like, who's going to be the next generation of action movies? I mean, Mission Impossible's done. You know what I
those kinda
mean?
finished
Like,
up,
007, there's going to have to be a new person for that. Yeah, it's just there's a turning point for action movies. So
yeah.
I think there's some guys. Like Miles Teller could probably do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the
Gosling could still probably do it.
You get your Glenn Powell out there. You can't be as pretty as he pretends to be.
Yeah, but there's some options. There's some prospects.
Yeah, there are definitely people that they could have some action movies like with, but I don't think we've done a good action. Like I feel like action stars are kind of just gone.
Yeah.
Good.
You brought up Denzel. Did you guys catch the mention when they were talking about Diamond Dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
The black nationalist, and he wrote a book while in prison, and they're like, yeah, they're currently going to write a movie. Denzel's rumored to be playing him. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, dude.
He signed off on that? Or like he'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
Hey, what'd you think about them talking about you in Con Air? They did what?
Yeah. They said you were going to play the black nationalist guy that murdered a bunch of white people. What? Huh?
We need you to sign off on this. Oh, you need me to do a movie? No, we just need to say your name
say your
one
name.
time.
Yep, that's it. Just need
Good God. I didn't do my facts.
Oh, sorry.
Can I call them Brendan's bits? I only want to say this
Yeah,
because
hit me with some bits.
no, these are like some of the best facts we've done in any episode. These are great.
But we didn't even
I'm
do
super
them.
excited. Okay, so
They're
here they are.
good,
Ready?
we forgot.
This is Simon West's first directing credit. He previously directed commercials and music videos, most notably directing Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up.
What?
Yeah, dude.
You
Great.
went from that to this. Wow.
Yeah. John Cusack and John Malkovich are very both vocal that they hated working on this movie. Frequent script changes led to confusion, and Malkovich improvising much of his lines, which I think you can see, especially with the whole barbecue thing. Like he's talking when Rames is going to kill those police officers.
Yeah.
That's definitely him riffing. This film is dedicated to Phil Swartz, an effects specialist who died during filming when a rigged plane fell and crushed him. This was the second Jerry Bruckheimer production where there was a plane-related death on set. Art Scholl, a pilot/cameraman, died during the filming of Top Gun when his camera plane failed to recover from a spin and plunged into the
Keep
Pacific
this man
Ocean.
away from planes.
Jesus.
Yeah. Cameron Poe originally was offered to Sly Stallone and Kurt Russell. Both actors turned the role down because they hated the script. Trisha Yearwood's How Do I Live was truly written for this movie. This blew my mind. This song was written for this movie. This song, my parents were big country music people. This song was massive.
Dude, that's
massive on the radio all the time.
When we this started up, I was like, "Do you remember this one?" To my wife, and she's like, "Yeah, this was like everywhere."
Yeah,
around
from
the
this
time of
movie.
That's insane. They wrote it for this movie.
Yes.
Wow.
As a reminder, this movie came out in June '97, same month as Face Off. I know we've talked about that in the past. These two movies were in the theater at the same time. Which is insane.
We got to do Face Off.
We have to.
You gotta let him.
Two other things. The Jailbird airplane used during flight scenes had a series of owners, both military and private. In December 2003, it was sold to All West Freight Inc. in Delta Junction, Alaska. On August 1st, 2010, it crashed into Mount Healy in Denali National Park, killing all 3 flight crew. Okay.
Jesus.
And then writer Scott Rosenberg quit the film and came back at least 14 times. He, to this day, is still very frustrated with the ending fire engine scene and the final comeuppance of Cyrus the Virus, but he is still proud the people of the film.
That it?
That's it.
Awesome.
Those are awesome.
Wow. You're right. Those are some good facts.
I love the Never Gonna Give You Up. That to this, it's crazy.
That's
Good for
nuts.
him.
And the fact that I'm reeling that she wrote that song for this movie.
I know it was
That's-
everywhere. It was like it's like 94.9 WQMX, and then this song would come on. I'd be like, dude.
How do I live without you?
Also, do you think the song is called "How Do I Live" by Trisha Yearwood, and isn't his wife named Trisha?
I think so.
Yeah. Do you think it's
Do you think they named her Trisha based off of the fact that she wrote the song for the movie?
maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. You tell me in the
don't know.
comments. Let me know.
Get in the comments.
Get in the comments. Tell us your con facts. So, Brenden, you got some ratings for us?
Yeah, I do. Rotten Tomatoes 58%. Boo. Audience rating 75%. Yay. IMDb 6.9 out of 10.
I mean, honestly, I kind of I understand some of the ratings jump. Like there's stuff in these movies that just, it's a good movie for me anyway, but like I can understand people not liking it. Again, it's like I said, it's kind of a popcorn movie. It's not something of substance, so you kind of walk away. You walk away with it after you're done and be like, if I were to ever see this playing on TV, it doesn't happen anymore because everybody doesn't have cable anymore. But if this was rolling like on like TV, it's playing on like the USA or whatever, like it's just on like it's just like walking past the TV, I see it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch it, kind of like a Shawshank Redemption or a Forrest Gump. I would stop and be like, oh yeah, I remember this, and I'd sit down and I'd watch it regardless of commercial breaks or not. But yeah, like this one is kind of like, unless you're making something, like I feel like I'll probably have to show this to my little sister and brother and be like, you should watch this movie. This is fun. This is fun. You'll have fun with this. But because they're not going to see it otherwise. So
Right.
I feel like this kind of just carries on based off of other people showing like, hey, check out this movie. It was fun back in the day. You'll enjoy it because it's stupid fun. So. But yeah, still recommend.
Well, thanks for having me on again.
Hey,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it.
That's why I wanted you to get back. I wanted to have one for all of us to get together. You know, all of us to bring us back home because I know Brenden was gone for a little bit. I had some vacation time, but we had to like fill some episodes, so this was good for us all to get back on the same page.
Get the dirty boys back together. Right? That's what we call ourselves, right? Right? The dirty birds.
What was the one from the other guys? It's like, are you Rick and the Dirty Boys? It's like, we will have sex in your Prius again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you Big Rick and the Boys? I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So thank you guys all for listening. We appreciate you very much. If you made it this far into the podcast, if you could give us a like, if you could subscribe, if you could follow, whatever you want to do, throw a comment in. Like I said, comment on like stuff in the episode. Let us know if there's anything you want us to watch. I know that there was one that I saw just recently that we'll talk about here probably in the next episode. But I do appreciate everybody that puts comments in there. We try to like keep track of everything. And if you could go on to YouTube, we're the Recommended Podcast. We're on Instagram as the Recommended Podcast. We're on TikTok as the Recommended Podcast. We're on X as the Recommended Podcast. On Facebook, we are the Recommended, and we are the Recommended on every other platform that you be getting your podcast from, whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcast or Overcast, wherever you're looking. But we appreciate y'all. We really do. We have another episode coming up here that we're going to record. So we've already watched the movie, but Brenden, do you want to tell them what you picked for your comeback episode?
My comeback episode is a very mystery-esque movie.
Mm-hmm.
Memento.
Little Christopher Nolan jam. I like it a lot.
Yep.
So we appreciate you coming to sit in with us, Chandler. We'll have you back for another episode at some point here soon.
Absolutely.
And we'll catch all of you guys next week for another episode. So with all of that being said, Brenden or Chandler, one of you want to send us out?
No, it's all you. I sucked while you were gone. You got it.
I'm really bad at this too. Yeah, I'm a regular hound dog. Ow, ow, ow. He doesn't do that in the movie, but
Hey, this is your barbecue, bud. I'm just
tastes
here.
good.
It tastes good. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.